God.
Got the eggy sticky sealed up in the duffel bag. My little cousin said 250 for a paper tag. I got the 17 targets on my leather jacket. The niggas try to up me, so I let him have it. Had to hit him with a bow, 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 bow. Gotta get a silencer, cause that shit is loud. I think I need a bigger scale, I just caught the pound. I'm the king of and beaters while I wear a crown. Cruising down 6th Ave with a blunt in my mouth. I had to tell the teacher gangster cause it came from the south. I got bad bitches out here shaking ass at the park. They just pushed me in the water, had to swim with the sharks. Take a look inside my wallet, I got 20 racks. Take a look inside my closet, got 100 racks. I got bitches chasing me.
Hello and welcome back to the Miami Sports Bar Podcast. No, motherfucker, hello and welcome back to the Miami Sports Bar Podcast. My name is Joey. We are now at episode 22 and I am so blessed to be here right now with you to talk to you so you can hear what I gotta fucking say about our Miami Dolphins. And of course our Miami Heat and other things that I come up with along the fucking way. I'm so happy to be back with y'all. I mean, I know, I get it. You know, we got exposed, quote unquote. My phone on that shit. We got exposed, right? By the Bills. I mean, realistically, I think it might be over. I think there's no more hype. Our Dolphins kind of suck now. I mean, I guess we are what we've always been. Yeah, fucking right, bitch. Oh my God, we lost one game. So fucking what? Don't worry, I got a couple things to show y'all, a couple things to laugh with y'all about. First and foremost, let me just say this. We lost that game. The Bills beat us, actually, because I know that there are nuances when you talk about winning and losing in the professional sports world. Absolutely, the Bills beat us. We definitely helped them beat us, not only by our defense playing poorly, but by pre-snap penalties, miscommunication on the offense, and with Teron Armstead going out. I'm not making excuses. They beat us. They scored 48 on our defense. They fucked us up all the way. I will show you a little bit more of the offensive stats later to give you a little bit more of an understanding of why I say that we did, in a sense, beat ourselves. But it is what it is. People, you know, for the ones who are, I'm not even going to call you casuals, just some people just don't have that knowledge or that understanding, or maybe they just are a little bit confused because the NFL is one of those leagues where, you know, the best teams don't always win. Anything can happen any given Sunday. I do have a quote from a dude that I'm going to show y'all who said that about us, but then kind of, you know, misconstrued his words, so I kind of laughed about it. But, yeah, we're fine. It's 3-1. Okay. There's no need to press the panic button. There's no need to be worried. Okay. At least if you're going to be worried, your worries should be from what you already had before this game, not after this game. We came off a 70-point offensive performance. We play the Bills twice a year. And obviously after this game, especially now that, you know, the Dolphins are supposed to be contenders, they hyperextended their shout outs and the facts of how we've lost to the Bills so many times or whatever. Obviously, you know, Josh Allen and the Bills have been on their type of run for a little longer than Tua has been. Tua actually got injured by the Bills 2 years ago. Well, actually got injured by the Bills 2 years in a row. But he had his ribs broken by the Bills in week 2 in 2021. And then in 2022, Matt Milano, who a lot of people give so much credit to, I'm not even saying, I know he's a good player, but he's got a little dirty side to him. And some players do, and that's great, and some players don't, and they're still great, you know. So it's kind of take it as you will kind of a situation. Broke his ribs 2021, and then in 2022, Matt Milano pushes Tua in the chest as he's on the run, literally backpedaling, throwing the ball, which ended up being completed. Another 15 yards. Tua sits out the rest of that half, plays the second half. We beat the Bills in Miami by 2 or whatever it was, 2 or 3. And then the very next game, which was week 4 of 2022, which we just passed week 4 of 2023, Tua has the gang signs, and to me it's not a joke, but he has, that moment where he gets suplexed by a defensive lineman from the Bengals on a Thursday night game on a short turnaround and ends up having that concussion worsened and misses a lot of time. And then obviously, that's what everyone's worried about. Can Tua stay healthy? If Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins can do this. If Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins can make the playoffs. If Tua stays healthy, they can win the division. If Tua stays healthy, they might be Super Bowl contenders. And so far, we're past week 4. Tua has not touched that injury report. Tua was sacked 4 times in that Bills game after only being sacked once through 3 weeks. Yes, the Bills, I guess, have a better defense. I mean, they have had their struggles throughout the first few weeks, but I mean, we all know that the Bills and Sean McDermott himself is a defensive coach, a defensive-minded coach. So, of course, the Bills are always going to present us a big challenge, and we're playing a divisional opponent. It's kind of what you expect. I absolutely expected us to win. I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't even remember what I said last week on the podcast, but I'll say it again right now, just in case I'm sure I had that same type of confidence. I expected us to win. I wanted us to win by a couple scores just to kind of cement our dominance, but it didn't happen like that. But no, I'm not hitting the alarms. No, I'm not worried about it. I mean, yes, of course I'm worried about it, but in the sense of playing a divisional opponent where the other 2 teams in our division are absolute dog water and I'm not worried about them, I'll take it for what it is. And for all the failures that the Dolphins have had in the last 2 decades, I guess you could say, it's not something that I'm going to dwell on. I know that I trust our coaching staff, except for Vic Fangio. I trust Mike McDaniel, and I know that we can make adjustments. And when I show you the stats later on in the game, our team stats at least, and how they compare to the Buffalo Bills offense, you will see why I do still have that trust. My boy Dennis, he is someone who's been coming to Duffy's for a little while now, and over the years, me and him have, created a good relationship, especially when it comes to talking. Sorry, I just had a camera issue. Sorry about that, but I fixed that real quick. Basically just me and Dennis, I've known him for a little while now, and he came in with these sunglasses on Sunday. And I know that you're looking at me right now saying, wow, Joey, you look fucking amazing. These glasses, let me just get a little dolphin logo there, nice on the frame. I mean, I had seen the ads for them or whatever, especially afterwards, I guess, because they're always listening on your phones. $20 sunglasses, they make them for all the teams. But these are still fire, you know what I mean? You ain't taking these out to anything crazy, but as a Dolphin fan or an NFL fan, long story short, I knew that this Sunday would be his last Sunday in Miami for the next hour because we had spoken about how his job is sending him to Minnesota for a month, which is great. Shout out Dennis. I'm happy for him. He has one of those jobs, where they send you out to travel. They pay for all your expenses. They give you a per diem. He's going to be vibing out there. And he gets to escape that Miami heat. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat in a second. He gets to escape that Miami heat for a little while. Gets to chill out in a nice little cool temperature. And then we'll come back. And before he left on Sunday, after the Dolphins lost, unfortunately, he said, Joey, I want you to have these. Because when he first sat down, I told him about how cool I thought they were. And he was going to send me a link, yada, yada. And it just goes to show, this Dolphin fan base and this love that we have for each other is real. And it's funny because when he left, because I had already charged him too, because I'm a bartender, right? That's the Miami Sports Bar, right? Emphasis on the bar. And I had already charged him, and he paid for this little dime that was with him, whatever. And chilling out, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He gives me the glasses. I'm like, damn, bro. Next time I see you, you have no idea how free your tab is. I even told my managers about it. I said, bro, just so you know, I'm giving you the heads up. Because next time I see him, I don't care what he spends, what he pays. Like, obviously it should, be, I'm sure they just want it to come out of my pocket. But it's more of one of those of like, hey, bro, I'm going to need you to help me out. Make sure that this tab is free. Because, what I'm saying, I still got to pay bills. But, yeah. So, like I said, I did want to talk about the Miami Heat. Just for a moment. So obviously, the Miami Heat did not get Damian Lillard, as I assume most of us anticipated, and I certainly did. And it's kind of one of those things where you just, brush it off. I mean, we didn't get Donovan Mitchell. We didn't get Bradley Beal. We didn't get Kevin Durant from I think right before he went to the Suns, we were mentioned as one of the teams that he wanted to go to or would have preferred to play for, whatever the case may be. I'm really not I'm not worried about it. And it's not a recency bias thing. It's really just like a factual thing, because the Miami Heat as an organization has continued to defy the odds, do things their own way, and achieve levels of greatness, I guess, against what people assume you need to have to achieve those levels. I mean, last year, of course, and I'm not going to go through it. I mean, you want to go through my old episodes. I've talked about it, at length, showing our highlights and showing how much we defied the odds, being an 8 seed. Actually, we're, an 8 seed that ended up being a 9 seed and having to win a play-in game that we were down by, 10 or something like that with 3 minutes left against the Bulls at home. And we obviously took that home and then win the first round. Who did we play in the first round, though? I can't. All right, whatever. All I know is that round 2, we played the Knicks. Fucked them up. That didn't matter. And then round 3, beat the Celtics after going up 3-0. And then they come back. Didn't matter. 1-7. And then we lose to the Nuggets, which was, our downfall. And I'm not even going to vet it. I just know that we were rated out of all NBA teams like the 12th overall. Let's say even if it was 10. Let's say even if it was 8. Right? There are 30 NBA teams. Only 2 make the finals. We just lost in the finals. And then you're going to have us, even at 8 would be disrespectful. 10 is more, and I know it's at the best, it's 10. But I'm pretty sure it was at 12. And that's just insane. I will say now, and I love to have this on video, and I'm pretty sure I said it in the past, but this will be more important now with the season coming up. I know that recently we've been floated around for landing James Harden. I know that Joel Embiid hasn't been a name that is likely to move. Because he's like a Giannis type. But look at what Giannis said before they got Lillard. I'm a bug for life, but I want to win games or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but he basically I'm talking about 3 weeks ago, Giannis basically said in an interview that he wouldn't stay in Milwaukee forever if he knew that he can win somewhere else. And that's where I look at Embiid and say, well, Embiid loves and trusts Jimmy. And he was mad when Jimmy left. And when they play together, he's always, I'm just saying, if we got Embiid, that'd also be a great come up as well. But with or without gaining anybody, having the players we have, Nikola Jovic with another off season to develop. He's gotten taller, from all reports. He's gotten taller by an inch or 2. But an inch or 2 in the NBA when you're already 6'8" or so is a difference. Stronger. Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr. or Jamie Jaquez Jr. or whatever the fuck they're gonna end up pronouncing it in the NBA. He's a stud rookie that we got, that him and Jimmy already seem to have a great relationship. Tyler Hero looks to be pissed off, basically saying in an interview that that he's just happy to play another year, and I guess a reporter had asked him a question. You know what? I'm gonna pause for a second and see if I find that video. Okay, just gonna go ahead and forget about that. But with Tyler Hero, basically the point is I mean, he seemed upset, pissed off. I wouldn't even say upset, but just pissed off, ready to get back to work, get into his year 5. And a reporter asked him, paraphrasing, of course, in case somebody finds this actual video, even though nobody really cares about it, what I say. But they had asked him basically how his feelings are on some teams not wanting him, because they were basically trying to boil it down to the fact that they took the Bucks offer because they felt that they had more value from the Bucks, and the Miami Heat offered like 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, Tyler Hero, Duncan Ron, like, you know what I mean? Like, they loaded up the offer. Obviously, the Blazers said no. The Bucks gave whatever deal they gave, and it ended up being a 3-team trade. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go into all the details of that. The point was to Tyler that they were basically trying to make him feel like that he wasn't good enough for the Heat to trade for Damian Lillard. So when the reporter asked, you're going to be playing the Blazers at some point, blah, blah, how are you going to... And Tyler Hero, paraphrasing, of course, he said, I'm looking forward to playing the best, and the Blazers are not the best. So I'm not worried about them. Obviously, shots fired. And his own way of saying, like, oh, you don't want to, acquire me? And don't worry, I'm going to show you what you're going to miss by playing for the team that I was drafted by anyways. I don't know what's going on in the back office and through teammates. I know that Jimmy loves him and Bam loves him, and I know that I don't know, but from what we see, that he's a good guy and that we know that he's a great player. And I honestly really do think right now, to this day, and I said it a few months ago when we were in the finals, that if Tyler Hero isn't injured, we probably win. We went all that way without Tyler, and that wasn't to say that, oh, we didn't need Tyler. That was to say we won in spite of losing Tyler. And any real Heat fan or anybody who's paid attention to our success because most Heat fans, they just watch the playoffs, and I get it, because in Miami there's just so much going on. There's not a lot of big basketball culture down here, especially after Wade and LeBron left. But even then, people weren't watching during the regular season. They're not looking at the stats. They don't really know what's going on. They just know the big names, and to them Tyler Hero isn't a big enough name, so they probably really don't care. Look at Jimmy. Jimmy has a couple games in the playoffs where he doesn't play well. And during that time, everybody was shitting on Jimmy. But now that the season's coming up again, all you see from Heat fans and Heat pages are, let's go Jimmy, run it back. But they were the same ones who were throwing him under the bus when we, quote-unquote, underperformed in the finals, even though we weren't supposed to be there in the first place. So, it's just crazy to me. I will address... top left. Does that work? Oh, look, it's working. I'm just kidding. I really don't know if it's working, but I'm assuming it is. This was Jimmy Butler during media day. Obviously, he just took his fucking braids out, he got his hair straightened, went and got these magnetized little piercings over here, had his fingernails painted black, and it's funny because if you're a real Heat fan and you know Jimmy's personality, you know that it's all a joke and it's just trolling. He basically said to the media, "Oh, I'm emo now." Just how a few days before when he found out that Damian Lillard got traded to the Bucks, he made that joke about, oh, they're tampering. Jimmy's whole thing is basically saying he understands that you're counting us out already. He understands that now that we didn't get Damian Lillard, the majority of the NBA fan base is just thinking that the Heat are going to suck or the Heat are going to fall off. That's what they've always thought. And he's just going to continue to prove them wrong. Right? And for those who really think that this is serious, I will show you that this was Jimmy Butler 14 hours, let's say, ish, after that, after those pictures. Obviously. Like, he's not... It's the same thing like last year when he had the long dreads and everybody thought... But the thing is, it was a long dread, so they just thought it was funny, I guess, in the sense that, oh, Jimmy went from... He added extensions, and he went from his short hair or short braids or his twists and whatever styles that he goes through all the time. And they're like, oh, well, he obviously, he's just fucking around. No, like... Jimmy is fucking with y'all. Because he's trying to say, like, this how much this don't matter to me. All that matters is winning. And I'm just extrapolating what he's showing for the main audience. That's really what it is. Because what's going to happen throughout this whole season is what's happened before. Okay? We're going to go... We're going to be like a 50-50 type of team throughout the season. Jimmy's going to miss games. Bam's going to miss games. Tyler's going to miss games. But by the end, we're going to make the fucking playoffs. We're going to make a run. The Bucks should still be worried. And I know that they are. I mean, they do have a rookie head coach. And Jimmy did touch on that fact during his media time on Media Day with his emo haircut, basically saying that how blessed their rookie head coach in Milwaukee is to have Dame, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. Because if he was basically saying he's like, if I was a head coach, that's the setup I would have. And I know, and he's saying that he knows that those players are going to make that coach look good. And at the end of it, after giving them all this praise, he said, but it doesn't matter because we're still going to beat them. And we're still going to go to the finals, and we're still going to win. And I said this on the podcast before we made the playoffs, that Jimmy guaranteed a finals appearance and obviously a win. We did not win. But the whole point of him repeating it again, because it's not the first time he says, not the second time, not the third time, not the fourth time. It's all he cares about. It's all the Heat care about. They don't care because the ticket sales for the Miami Heat are going to come because Miami's a destination, right? People come out. People buy tickets just to go and leave by halftime to go have dinner after. The Miami Heat, all that culture has cared about ever since Pat Riley's been involved is winning a title. And I expect nothing less this year. Did we get who we wanted? No. Can we still get a Joel Embiid? Yes. If we added a Jrue Holiday, who knows? That'd be great too. Congratulations to Max Strus and Gabe Vincent for getting their new contracts and moving on. Victor Oladipo, I pray for your fucking health, dude. Because we needed your health in the playoffs. And obviously, you're just one of those guys, bro. And I really feel bad for Victor Oladipo when you really think about it. Because he was somebody that was counted out early in his career. Got injured. Got to ball out in Indiana. Everybody cared about him again. Got injured again. Nobody cared about him again. He's one of those guys that he's like a what if. What would have happened? What if he never got hurt? What if he could have stayed healthy? I mean, I'm not comparing him to Dwayne Wade, but I'm saying Dwayne Wade's the same. What if Dwayne Wade doesn't injure his shoulder in 2009? What if Dwayne Wade's knees don't start giving up on him? How far could he have gone? Wade and LeBron came in the same year, and LeBron is still over here. I can go on a whole rant about LeBron because I know everybody hates LeBron, and I didn't like LeBron for a long time. But it's the same. I'm not gonna say the same thing as Tom Brady because I never hated LeBron as much as I hated Tom Brady. But after so many years of being the best and being a champion, even though LeBron's only won 4 champions, but you understand what I'm saying. Like LeBron's just year in, year out, a threat, a problem. Whenever he leaves a team, they get worse. He joins a team, they go to the playoffs. You know? But the Miami Heat, I know, I gotta find a new word for butt. I've been saying butt too many times. But, you a hoe. I mean, the Miami Heat are gonna be fine. We're gonna get to the playoffs again. We'll see what happens throughout the season. See what happens when the trade deadline comes up. See if we get Joel Embiid. I mean, we still are a destination. And the fact that we didn't get Damian Lillard should remind you all that we still have capital to play with. We still have money to play with, if capital is too much of a big word for y'all. Well, now that we got the Heat out the way, I wouldn't say out the way because they coming in hot. Let's get into what happened with the Miami Dolphins, right? So, I was at work, of course, and there were not a lot of plays that I could watch. I mean, I saw a lot of the first half, second half, it got a little bit busier, and of course, I mean, I don't need to recall it for anybody who watched, but back and forth, trading blows with touchdowns. And then, obviously, and I said it myself, but Mike McDaniel did say it, so I'm not trying to say that I said it first because I'm sure that he realized it too, and I'm not trying to steal it from his press conference, but the Bills made adjustments on defense that our defense could not keep up with, and they ended up having that chance to run away with the game. They did not run away with the game when it was 21-14. They really ran away with that game in the second half where, we just had mistakes. I mean, obviously, and I don't even have the play. So before I pull up this video that I just put a little bit together of seeing how funny it is of what people said about us. One, not being a Dolphin fan. One, being a Dolphin fan. On that third drive or fourth drive, whatever it was, we kind of just had pre-snap penalties delay us. Raheem Mostert with a fumble that we recovered. Third and something. Raheem Mostert too scared to get hit over the middle and puts up his palm just like that. And it was behind him. And I should have looked up the play and should have it for you guys, but I guess you're just going to have to take me for my word. That the ball was behind him because the defender in front of him would have slapped it away or intercepted it or whatever. And the ball was really just behind him just so he can secure that first down. And instead of attacking the ball, he puts up a palm to see if he gets lucky. It just is what it is. It's not really a great play. Shortly after that, Raheem Mostert has a run, fumbles again. This time we don't recover, and this is in our own 30-yard lines, within our own 30-yard line, something like that. And, I mean, just pre-snap penalties, offensive line giving way. I mean, Achan is probably our biggest, green light that you can take away from this. He still had another 100 yards, another 100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He played very well. And, I mean, it was just disappointing. I mean, like I said, and I don't want to, do one of those things where it's like, oh, we beat ourselves and the Bills. And, no, the Bills are good. The Bills are great. They have a lot of talent. They have good coaching. And especially when you're playing a division opponent, which I was trying to, specify earlier, it's just they're always going to play you better. They know your tendencies better. They have more film on you, right? You play a division opponent twice a year, no matter what. And the same goes for us, though. And obviously, we were able, and I will show you the stats later, that we were able to move the ball on them consistently and frequently. It was the scoring that was a problem. It was the turnovers that were a problem. And the real problem is that with our new defensive coordinator, sorry, I'm gonna move this camera a little bit. It's bothering me. The play calling, I guess, just wasn't there. I think we have the talent on defense, and if you tell me we don't have the talent on defense, we do. Xavier Howard was not shadowing Stephon Diggs the whole game. Kader Kohu ended up, based on the Bills' play calling, Kader Kohu was the one who was mostly covering Stephon Diggs. Right? So the whole thing was that Vic Fangio had schemed up our defense to play how he wanted them to play. He wasn't having Xavier shadow Stephon, which is fine. No, it's not. But the real thing is that the Bills obviously saw that and made sure that where Stephon lined up, he was going to play Kader Kohu, a second-year rookie who got all of his starts last year because we had no Byron Jones and Xavier Howard was injured most of the time. Most of the season, I'm sorry. So, it was just, and a lot of that can go on McDaniels as well because he is a head coach. He can step in, whatever. But we did bring Vic Fangio out of retirement. From what I understood during the offseason is that there was a whole great pitch and meetings to, persuade him to come out of retirement and to be our defensive coordinator. And through 4 weeks, I'm not impressed. Week 1 against the Chargers, you kind of give him that because talk about that in a second. You kind of give him that. Chargers are a great offense. It was a away game. Week 1, we end up winning anyways, and we win on a defensive stop, which I talked about a few weeks ago. Week 2, New England, we give up 20, whatever. Realistically, we shut down that offense, and then they had a couple garbage time drives where they got to rack up some yards, but in generalities, we were able to keep them in check. Yes, they did get completely obliterated by the Cowboys this weekend, but it's a division opponent. It's a little bit different, but I'm not really trying to use that game as to give Vic Fangio credit either way. And then last week, the week before this loss to the Bills, we play the Broncos, and Fangio had his own bye week. Because obviously they scored 20, we scored 70, doesn't matter. Jason Sanders misses all 10 extra points, we still win by 40, So, but he has a talent, and I think I don't know what's gonna happen. There's a lot of those little jokes and stuff that you see online. It's like, oh well, fire the coordinator. You're not gonna fire a coordinator mid-season, especially in the first season. It kind of does remind me of what happened last year, where we did have a little bit of a defensive jump in the second half of the season. Played a little better, especially when Tua was out, and helped us keep us in games. And then we went on a winning streak and we're in the playoffs. I wasn't going to bring up the whole fact that we lost to the Bills by 3 in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson in Buffalo. But the real reason that we were in that game to that effect was because Jalen Phillips had a scoop and score touchdown or something like that. Defense showed up, played well. That was before Vic Fangio, but it's just kind of one of those things. And the other thing I wanted to say before I get into this video is I think that it's funny because, there's a couple things that's funny. So the consensus is basically that the Dolphins just got exposed. They're trash. They're done for the season. They are what you thought they were. All those fucking quotes, right? Great. That's awesome, dude. I'm happy for you that that's what you think. Because you're, sticking on the fact that we played the Chargers in week 1 when majority of the NFL had Justin Herbert's fucking cock so far down their throats that we made such a mistake to have Tua instead of Justin when we just beat Justin Herbert in his home field, even though they don't have a home field because nobody cares about them. They have no fans. To a game-winning touchdown is one of the most accurate throws that you've probably ever seen in the NFL, but the casuals didn't even see that play. They just saw that we beat the Chargers. So now all they say is, oh, well, the Chargers suck anyways. Brandon Staley sucks, right? Cool. And then week 2, we beat the Patriots. Not much you can say there, really, because obviously everybody's talking so much shit about them after getting destroyed by the Cowboys. It's all about how Bill Belichick, wasn't the reason they won all these Super Bowls, even though Bill Belichick is definitely the best NFL head coach of all time. One of the greatest defensive minds in NFL history. Well, that's fine as well. Week 3, we drop 70 on the Broncos. And now especially after losing to the Bills, and you'll see it in this clip that I'm going to show, you drop 70 on the Broncos. The Broncos are trash. The Broncos are... Bro, and I really need to make this clear. There are trash teams and there are trash defenses in the NFL every single season. There are overhyped offenses every single season. But for some reason, nobody has had 70 points since 1966. And I'm not trying to build my whole rest of the season on a 70 point offensive performance in week 3 against the Broncos. That's not what I'm trying to do. But it's just so funny because it's the Dolphins. If the fucking Chiefs, right? If the Bills, if the Chargers even scored, if the 49ers scored 70 points against whoever, you fucking name it, they would never let it go. But the fact that the Dolphins did it, right, even before we lost to the Bills, it was already being discredited. Even though it hasn't been done since the 60s. And now we lose to the Bills and they say, oh, well, it was against the Broncos. It was against the Broncos. Is the Broncos on an NFL team? Is not every NFL player one of the best football players in the fucking world? When did that stop being a fact? When did any person who plays in a professional American league outside of soccer stop being the best in the world, right? MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA. When did that stop mattering? When did that lose its glory? Oh, the Dolphins scored 70 on the Broncos, but then they scored only 20 on the Bills. We're supposed to have a great defense. We only scored 20, and I'm going to show you the stats after the thing. It's unbelievable how much people are willing to say to try to discredit the Miami Dolphins. I'm just saying. You can tell me I'm crazy. Say I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. Say I'm a dick rider. I don't give a fuck, because I'm going to end up being proven right. And if we don't win a Super Bowl, I'll be wrong regardless. But when we make a good playoff run and then come back next year and do it again, oh, baby, I cannot wait. So, for the clips that I put together, it's just from two guys. One is, I'm really not sure who he is a fan of. He's clearly not a Dolphins fan. And the other one is a Dolphins fan. The first part of this video is from Cover One on YouTube. I really only give his name because, God forbid, I blow up and I gotta take it down. And I don't really have a problems with how he's depicting the defense because he is factual and he is giving credit. But it's so funny to see how non-Dolphin fans try to just diminish what we do. Because I'm only going to show you a couple plays that he highlights where we actually accomplish things, as in like complete a pass, make a first down, score a touchdown, and just giving all this credit to the Bills defense about how they took away Tua's first read. This is the NFL. Like, yeah, he had a couple games where his first read was open because they're all short passes and quick plays, and he gets the ball out fast. And the only thing he will say, like, yes, credit to Tua. Tua made a great adjustment, a great read. But realistically, if you're looking, and I'm not saying that it's the only way it should be looked at, but it is funny to see the discrepancy. Because as a Dolphin fan, you can easily turn it into, oh, they took his first read. But as a Dolphins fan, you can say Tua progresses through his reads and makes a smarter play, holds the ball down, has the pump fake, completes a first down. So I'm just going to let this ride for a second. Both of them in these clips are talking through their things, so I will let them speak. Obviously, I have no type of fucking clout, so if it gets taken down, honestly, if I ever get a video taken down for copyright, I'd be so hyped because I'd be like, oh shit, I'm big now.
That first read, Milano did a great job of doing that all day. Jumps that slant route, that in-breaker from Waddle. See Tua have to move on. He wants to still throw it over the middle. Mostert's coming from right to left on the screen, but watch the club move by Daquan Jones in the middle of the screen. He creates that pressure, and Tua's not able to stay set after moving on his progressions. He has to fade away a little bit. The ball's a little high, but the tip ball.
It's not even high.
Hands of Watt, a little high.
It's not even high. He doesn't even have to jump. He takes a hop off the ground. It just goes straight. Raheem Mostert had a bad game. No matter what anybody says.
The tip ball ends up in the hands
Tip ball,
of
Jalen Waddle catches that. I remember that in the first drive.
Eye candy on this play, so they're gonna run play action. They're gonna have Tua.
This one to me, this next play is what really made me laugh. Because he basically just describes what a fluent offense looks like and turns it into, wow, the Bills are amazing on defense.
On this play, so they're gonna run play action. They're gonna have
this
Tua
ends up being a
turn
completion
back,
for a first down.
The ball disappears. So this is what makes things so difficult on the defense. Where's the ball? You have a tight end coming across the formation. You got that misdirection, a little eye candy here, and again, the ball fake right there. So they want Matt Milano to fast flow to the ball on this wide zone run. But watch him. Stays home. Stays in that window. And as Tua wants to throw it, Matt Milano's underneath. Great coverage by Trey White to the top of the screen.
Tua pumped it, and I guess he reacted on Matt Milano. But he definitely could have got it in there with his accuracy. But whatever.
And yes, there's a safety over the top. But you can see there is some real estate behind Matt Milano. But Milano takes it away. Tua resets and finds Tyreek Hill to the bottom of the screen with Benford in trail coverage. Just a nice play from Tua. Again, the Bills did a great job of forcing him to move on, even on this play. But Tua moved on in his progression and was able to find his target safety on this play.
See, that's what's the funny part about this thing, because his whole video is basically exposing how we lost to the Bills, right? So that's the context. And he's trying to explain what the Bills did to make us lose. And, of course, I didn't go later on into the video because now we're playing comeback football, but we had already dealt with pre-snap penalties, the fumbles, our defense not holding anything for their fucking lives. And he's trying to describe how early in the game the Bills already had our number, right? That is the context.
The bottom of the screen.
And if you
in trail coverage, just a nice
if you're looking, and like I said, like he's gonna give the credit to Tua and say, "Oh, nice play from Tua." All Tua does is go through his progressions, finds his star receiver for a first down.
Again, the Bills,
if anything, the Bills didn't do anything. In that play, the Bills didn't do anything crazy. They took away one play, and then Tua got a bigger play.
Really nice rotation. The illusion of pressure from Bernard rushing the quarterback. But Tua does a great job of moving on.
Tua does a great job.
Floyd jams the tight end at the line of scrimmage, takes away that first read, but they have that rail or wheel route up the sideline. Rapp does a great job with his eye discipline, and he drops and bails.
And it's
deep,
probably
it's
Raheem
just a
Mostert's
better
best
for
play of the
Mostert
game.
on the back end with Trey White
With
coming
Tua,
from depth
with
and Brad
another
Hunter.
beautiful
It's a
throw that
great
he
job by Mostert
consistently
bringing
makes,
this in.
where
So
he's
on
just
that
throwing it
last
right in
drive, the
between.
Dolphins ended up scoring on a 10-yard
And then, of
run
course,
from Devin Achane. But
Achane
the Bills
with a
answered
beautiful
immediately with a
10-yard touchdown.
from Stephon Diggs.
After they scored.
I want to make sure you guys can hear this fucking retard, because that guy makes no sense. And I'm not trying to avoid the full, breakdown of that first guy from cover one, because he has a lot of great points and he's a smart guy. Obviously, he's watched and paid attention to football for a long time, and so have I, and so have a lot of our friends. And I mean, hey, Madden teaches you too, right? But that's why I like his name from cover one, because I laughed at it and I was like, how many Madden guys are looking at that? I mean, I know what cover one means, but it's just so funny how, like, when he's trying to break that down, he's giving the Dolphins the credit, but at the same time taking away the credit from our offense, of saying like, oh yeah, well, they only made this play because they took away this play. But that's how the NFL works every day. That's every game. Like when Mike McDaniel or any other coach or offensive coordinator or whatever draws up a play and has schemes put in place, not every route they know is not going to be open. The whole point is knowing where every route is going. And the important part of the quarterback is understanding, I just called this play. This is where you're going. 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 Right? Unless there's some type of option route, which we are actually very, very good at running those option routes. And the quarterback having that understanding. So when something's taken away and they need something to happen, they can make it happen. Or they at least know where to look and who's going to be where. Right? But that's what I'm trying to say earlier. Like, I can't go through all of it. And I'm not going to, because I'm not going to do a 2-hour podcast right now. Like, where for everything that he can say about how good the Bills defense did on a certain play, I can tell you how good the Dolphins did on every single play and what they did to avoid certain things. I mean, I think towards the end I have this clip of Tua's interception. It's really just a throw. I'm going to save it. Continuing. Let me let this guy talk.
And an MVP caliber season for Tua Tagovailoa after they scored 70 points on the Denver Broncos.
That's my point right there. It's the fact that he has to reiterate Denver Broncos, as if we played, Bishop Sycamore, as if we played a college team. That's an NFL team with NFL players. Isn't Patrick Surtain supposed to be one of the best DBs in the league? Look at J.C. Jackson, who actually just got traded back to the Patriots, and low-key is having legal troubles that all stem in New England, and it really just helps him because he has to go answer a bench warrant right now. And J.C. Jackson was on the Chargers when we beat him in week 1. He let up, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like, it's the type, and this is a Dolphin fan. I mean, and I know that he really, like, he cares and, like, he's trying to, like, point out the right things, but there's some things that he says that he really contradicts himself in. But let's continue to listen.
And then this week, everyone's saying it was just one game. The Buffalo Bills, we lost one game. That's all it is. People, wake up. This is the NFL. Every single week, you have to bring your best A game. There are no days off. On any given Sunday, you've heard the cliche, on any given Sunday, your opponent could eat your lunch. It's not just one game. And in today's installment of Instant Reaction or Overreaction, I'm going to show you why.
Ball's gonna say.
So, let's hear what he said, right? He said that, first he said, let's get over here. Where's this quote at? So he says,
after they scored 70 points on the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos. And then this week, everyone's saying it was just one game. The Buffalo Bills, we lost one game. That's all it is. People, wake up. This is the NFL. Every single week, you have to bring your best A game. There are no days off. On any given Sunday, you've heard the cliche, on any given Sunday, your opponent could eat your lunch. It's not just one game. And in today's installment, that's all.
so it's not just one game, right? Any given Sunday, anything can happen. I absolutely agree. But it's so funny how quick he is to throw away that 70-point game because we lost to the Bills. And obviously he's going off the eye candy of how we look like during the second half. And I'm going to show you the stats after. You know what? No. I'm going to show you the stats now. Oh, that was me trying to find that Tyler Hero clip earlier. Let's go. Where did I have it? Right here. Now I'm going to just show it. Okay, so this was us versus the Bills, right? And if you're listening, don't worry. I will speak enough on the stats that I'm watching for you to follow along. And for anybody who's curious, it's all available on ESPN. The Dolphins had 20 first downs. The Bills had 24 first downs. This is where you see we were 3 for 10 on first down. They were 5 for 10. Only 2 better. Okay? On fourth down, we were 0 for 3. So there are, a little bit of our complications. They did not try a single fourth down. Why would they? They were beating us handedly for most of the game. They had 56 plays on offense. We had 50. I'm sorry. Yeah, they had 56. We had 58. It's these glasses, guys. Sorry, I got to wear them for the swag. For total yards, this to me is huge. We had 393 yards of offense. 393. They had 414. That is only 21 more yards than what we had and still beat us by 28. That is obviously a problem. But it's not like they shut down our offense. Our offense was cooking. They had 12 drives. We had 11 drives. Great. 6.8 yards per play for us, 7.4 for them. Our passing yards were only 251. Great. They had the 310. Josh Allen had a great day. Our rushing, 142 to their 104. And this is where you get to see the death of us. We had 8 penalties for 98 yards against us. They had 4 for 20, 420. Spark it up, bro. Because that's what they did. 8 penalties. Like, that's why when I kept saying, we had these pre-snap penalties, and then obviously we just had penalties, throughout the plays that just drug us down. It's hard to catch momentum and to play well when you're beating yourselves against the referees. And notice how I'm not blaming the refs at all. Because a lot of those plays, except for the pass interference against Kohu, the only thing that you can say is that Kohu didn't turn around. But he didn't grab him, whatever. But that's not the point. It just is what it is. Because no matter what, the stats are final. That penalty counted 98 yards. We almost gave up a full field worth of penalties. That's disgusting. We had 2 turnovers. They had 0. And even if you look at the time of possession, it's almost 30 minutes to 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It was more even than what the score shows in terms of play calling and offensive plays and things like that. We played well offensively. Defensively, we played terrible, and O-line obviously played terrible. Tua had been sacked 1 time in 3 weeks. Got sacked 4 times. Fucking unbelievable. But for all those that think Tua is trash. Actually, full screen me real quick. You know what's really important? At this time last year, Tua was already concussed in week 3 against the Bills. And a year ago tomorrow, which will be today by the time this is posted, Tua was injured against the Bengals, throwing out the gang signs, like I said earlier. So, as a Dolphin fan, you really shouldn't be mad. You should be happy, because now for now, we get to see what our potential is with a healthy Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, still to this point, is the leading quarterback in pass yards. Has 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, second best QBR, best quarterback rating. I mean, I just... It's just so hard to talk about, because, like, and I just get told about how I'm dick riding and doing this. And like, no, dude. I just got to put you on to what you don't know.
Off the table. Now he can't hit Tyreek on a quick in break or Jalen Waddle. That's not there. Now that time for the deep.
So what he was talking about at that point was how the same way as Cover 1 was talking about. This guy's name is Barry Cunningham, by the way. I do like his content. Great dude. But I think he's trying to dip too much into what the media is trying to talk about. Because that's why he's literally just putting himself up there next to Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. As they're trying to break down the game and, make you understand, like, yeah, they took away reads. That's part of the NFL. Like, oh, the Bills did it to the Dolphins. Oh, my God. No, yes, someone else is going to do it to us, too. Part of being a quarterback and part of being a great offense is being able to get through reads and find the open man. And this play, he tries to hit Durham Smythe on a seam, and he overthrows him. And for the first time ever, and it's funny because I don't know if I kept it in here, but instead of saying overthrown, they say it flies on him, because you have to keep the narrative that Tua underthrows everybody. He can't overthrow you, even though he overthrew his tight end on a seam route. They're going to say it flew on him because of this or because of that.
Offensive line to react.
What?
Sean McDermott was able to do.
And also understand
From that mid
action, I'm going to show you why.
It's right here.
Going to sail. It's not because Tua misses.
That's what he said. He said the ball's going to sail.
It's not because Tua misses the throw. It's because Tua feels that color from that middle linebacker, and so he's trying to place that ball over the top and ends up sailing to that safety.
The thing that's been great about Tua Tagovailoa the entire season is that belief, but things have come open. If you look at what Sean McDermott was able to do,
and also understand.
Yeah, that's about all I need from that. But you see, he said Tua, when he throws it, the ball sails, not overthrow. Can't say the word overthrow when it comes to Tua, because Tua overthrew him, and that's how the safety's able to make that interception. It wasn't an interception like he threw it straight to a DB, one of those bad throws. I mean, interceptions have such a bad fucking, like, juju on them already that people just don't understand, like, that the best quarterbacks in NFL history throw interceptions. I was at a game when Jay Cutler was the quarterback of the Dolphins, and Tom Brady threw, I think, 2 interceptions or 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Jay Cutler had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Dolphins win the game. Look it up. Look it up. And, of course, nobody's giving the credit to the Dolphins defense or to, Jay Cutler, because, whatever. It was a shitty season anyways. We got Jay Cutler because we had nobody else. But it's just so crazy to me. And I'm obviously not trying to compare Tua to Tom Brady. But it's like, I mean, you look at Mahomes, like, look at Dude, look at all the memes that are going around about Mahomes beating the Jets this weekend. The Jets gave him way much more trouble than he ever should have had. And when Mahomes is playing poorly, they say he needs help. But now that Tua's playing well, they say it's because he has help. Like, I just... It's so confusing, bro. Not for me, because I get it. It's 11 on 11. You need great players all around you, no matter what. But I just want to say, like, Kansas City does not have a big fucking market. Miami has a better market. Miami, New York, LA, like, those are 3 markets, right? That deserve all the credit and hype and help, right? Because those are the markets where there's a high volume of citizens. There's a lot of, people coming in and out. They can sell tickets for higher prices, and they still hype up just like whoever they want. Like, if you really think about it, New England, for the Patriots, Massachusetts, really, only has a great market for football because of Tom Brady. I don't understand. But anyways, guys, I've gone a little bit long. All right, that's what she said. I love you. Don't forget. Whoops. The next 2 weeks, the Dolphins play the Giants. That's a dub. And then we play the Panthers. That's a dub. After that, we do play the Eagles. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing I wanted to do. So, no, we're not done. Top left, baby. Let me find our schedule. I already pulled it up. So, right now, we are 3-1. All right? Giants, 4-1. Panthers, 5-1. Philadelphia, let's just give them the win for, the sake of this record, this thing. 5-2. New England, 6-2. Kansas City, not even to get into the argument, let's just do 6-3. Bye week. Las Vegas, 7-3. New York Jets, 8-3. Washington, 9-3. I might go to that game. My birthday is the day after. Tennessee, 10-3. Jets again, 11-3. Dallas, 12-3. Baltimore. You know what? Just for the in between of those, that Dallas Baltimore game, let's say 12-3. So we'll say 12-4, and we're gonna win that last game at Buffalo because we're pissed. 13-4. I predicted 13-4. All I know is that I love y'all. Make sure you love yourselves. I'll see you next week. Fins up.